Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Game Club.
Oh, Game Club.
Each week, we play a video game.
Yep.
We play a chapter or a segment or a timed interval of this game.
Yes.
And then we talk about it on stream.
Yes.
And today is the inaugural episode of Yakuza 0.
Yes.
So we played the first chapter. I played the first chapter. Curb played a little bit more because he got a little excited.
I just wanted to do some side missions. The first chapter was like story.
Oh, pure story.
Straight up, basically. A few fights and everything, and some of the fights were pretty damn good, but it was not much of the open worldness that I was hoping for in the first chapter.
Now, you've played Yakuza games before. You've, in fact, played this game a couple chapters before.
Yeah, I played like 4 or 5 chapters before.
I have never played a Yakuza game, so I have no idea what to expect.
Wow.
And you're
in for it.
Very surprised by how good this storyline has started out.
Well, that's the thing. That's kind of what they're known for.
Yeah.
Is like the storylines are supposed to be good. So, first of all, this was Yakuza 0 came out like after Yakuza like 4.
Yeah.
So they did like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they were like, we're going to do Yakuza 0 to show like the origin of Kiryu into the Yakuza lifestyle, whatever.
What year did this game come out?
Well, this version came out in a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, but the original version came out. Like, this is like a remake of the original.
Okay.
So, it's upgraded. It didn't look this good.
Extremely upgraded.
Yeah, it didn't look this good back then.
As usual.
It was like PS2 or 3 days when it came out. Yeah.
So, as usual, I'm playing in 4K HDR on my big TV.
Yeah.
And the texture work on the flesh is unreal.
So one of the things you can tell for sure is when a character is based off of a real person or they've created them.
Yeah.
You can just tell. Like you look at Kiryu and they're like, they made this guy.
Yeah.
But you look at like the other Yakuza bosses and they're like, oh, they scanned him. Yeah. Yeah. They're like, they scanned this guy. He's a real guy. Well, his face anyways. When he takes off his shirt and he's like fucking jacked and his skin's all smooth. Then you're like, okay, that's not his real body.
Well, even Kiryu, like you can like.
Well, he has pores and shit in his face.
Pores, like individual hairs.
But you can just tell by looking at his face, he's not a real person.
Yeah.
But the other actors, you're like, those are real people, right? Even though they gave them like black hair. Because obviously he's so old, he would have gray hair.
Yeah. Because he's got like the little slight blemishes in his flesh, in his face, and I'm like, oh my god!
But you can tell from his features that he's not a real person.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
So, but
quite blown away. Though you can tell they didn't update any of the animations or any of like the cloth physics or anything like that because they stand up. The textures on the kimonos, on the suits, you can see the individual weave patterns. Like even the silk on the kimono for like the dojima is unreal. Like it looks so good. But then he stands up and starts walking, and the cloth is stuck to the back of his leg, and you're like, oh, this looks like an old game.
Yeah, it is an old
extremely
game.
Upscaled.
Yeah, for sure. So, sorry.
One thing that I noticed when that I found to be weird is that the regular in-game cutscenes, the mouths move, everything's animated, and there's everything's voiced. But then in like the ultra high quality cutscenes, the mouths don't particularly move to the words. And I'm curious as to why they did that, if it was due to it being recorded in multiple different languages or what.
Yeah, so this was first put out in the era where they didn't have now they have the weird like tech where it'll like sync up lips to the audio automatically.
Yeah. Whereas
before it had to be like manually done. So I'm listening to it in Japanese.
Of course.
But I think it's just I think it's more to do with the upgraded models and stuff like that. Because there's parts where I was watching it and like Kiryu would take a smoke. But because they changed the model and the animation the same, he put it into his like below his lower lip.
Oh.
Into his face, basically. Or he'd take a drink and he'd hold it like to his like it would pour down his face, basically. Yeah. But it's just because of the updated like models and everything like that. But yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
And the more recent games, like if you go look at like a Dragon, it looks like way better. Just because it has like modern day graphical stuff going on. Whereas this is like it's a remaster they did a lot of work to, but it's not like fully like next gen, you know?
Yeah, it definitely isn't. And you can tell by like the cloth physics, there aren't any.
Yeah.
There's no soft body physics. There's nothing like that. And
yeah, they're canned animations. Like you
canned
punch a guy, they
animations.
fall the same way every time.
The rain
their
looks-
legs are in the air above their head.
The legs are all weird.
Yeah.
Well, not the legs, but the rain's all weird when it's like splashing.
Yeah,
and
it's just
stuff
like
that.
dots.
Just like-
Yeah. But yeah, the story, that's one of the big things with the Yakuza games is the stories are always...
Yeah.
Well, the main story is always like super fucking serious.
Yeah.
Like Yakuza.
Mhm.
But then you get into the side missions and it's like, this young girl's selling her panties and we have to get her to stop selling her panties because that's just weird. Or like Kiryu stumbles upon, maybe it's not even Kiryu, it might have been the other guy, Ichiban, stumbles onto like a group of men who like to wear diapers and get treated like babies. Or like there's one mission in like a Dragon where it's like someone's pissing in the river all the time and you have to like figure out who's pissing in the river and you'll walk up behind him and it looks like they're pissing and then you'll be like, hey, what are you doing? And you'll grab his shoulder and it's like he's playing a saxophone or something like that. So the main story, super serious, but then the side missions just fucking
just off the wall.
weird
silly.
as hell, right?
Yeah, I can tell that it's going to be like that because a lot of the fighting made me... It harkened back to Saints Row 3. Like when I was fighting stuff,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, this feels like Saints Row 3. Especially when I pulled up my lightsaber and started beating people with it.
Oh, wow. You did that, eh?
I was like, oh, this is how you... I was trying to change stances.
Yeah.
And so... after you've done a bunch of the storyline, you go and you get to wander around a little bit and actually go in the shops and do stuff. And I came across a park and there was a clown.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's
I'm
the
like, hey.
shrine where you can trade in your CP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
He had a gift for you.
he had multiple gifts for me.
Yeah.
And one of them had a pink lightsaber.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to change stances because I'm like, okay, well, how do I change stance? Because I don't want to be in rush mode. I want to be in brawler mode for this fight. And all of a sudden I hit down and it's like lightsaber.
Yeah.
Pink lightsaber. I'm like, okay, well, now I'm beating people.
Yeah.
I'm like, this feels very Saints Row.
Well, and also once you get your heat mode activated and you hit the like heat button and it'll be like, oh, I took the guy and smashed his face through a car window.
Oh yeah,
opened the door, put his head in, and then kicked the door on his neck. It's like, holy shit! I just murdered that guy.
Yeah, there was a lot of heat modes where I was like, oh my god!
I know,
like especially when you're like when you're up in the boss base.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
in the bathroom, you're like smashing his face into the urinal.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
Like, oh my god!
And
What is happening?
Picking up a bike and just fucking breaking it over a guy's head. Boosh! Just the bike breaks into 4 pieces.
Well, even like being in some of the office buildings, you're like, oh well, here's a couch. So I'm just gonna start swinging at you with it.
Kiryu's very strong, dude. He's crazy.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So basically, the first chapter of this game, story-wise, is we're Yakuza. We were sent to shake down a guy for money. And we beat him up, take his money. Brutal beatdown. The first thing you see in the game is him like kicking him right in the face and shit like that. And he's just like, please, no, stop. So he takes his money, leaves him. We find out later the man died. And everyone thinks Kiryu did it because he went to shake him down on the orders of a loan shark. And he's dead. So Kiryu's like, well, I didn't think I beat him that bad, but I guess I'll go talk to the Yakuza bosses. And they're like, you killed him. You got to fucking turn yourself in. You'll do your bid in prison, 10 years, whatever, come out. They'll take the heat off of us, but you got to do it. And he's like, but I didn't kill him. And they're like, where did you get the gun? He's like, gun? I didn't have a gun. I just beat him up. I didn't have a gun. And they're like, stop lying to us, whatever. So Kiryu decides the only way to get out of this is to like leave the Yakuza. He'll take the heat off of the clan because his boss basically brought him into the Yakuza. It's going to look bad on him, even though he's in prison already. So he needs to leave the Yakuza to take the heat off of him, and then he'll figure out who actually killed the guy.
Yeah.
And basically the first whole chapter is one of the other Yakuza bosses has set him up.
Lieutenant.
Yes. That's the one thing when you're introduced to all these characters, they don't display their name and rank long enough on the screen, because I'd be reading it and be like, oh, it's gone. I didn't get to read it all.
Yeah, Daisaku Kuze.
Yeah, Kuze. He has set Kiryu up. He told the loan shark to tell Kiryu to go beat this guy up, but Kiryu beat him up in the wrong spot.
No, it was the right spot because that's where he wanted the.
Oh yes.
The loan shark was like, you take him here and you beat him up.
Yes, but it was also the wrong spot for the guy to die at, because now they want to basically buy this one empty plot of land so they can tear down the whole area around it and start a new development.
Yeah.
But no one can figure out who owns this land. And now that the land is been a murder committed on it, it's going to be even tougher to like get it under their control, basically. Yeah. So basically Kiryu figures it all out that Kuze has set him up. So he goes to talk to the boss to let him out of the Yakuza. And he has to fight his way up, raid style, to the top floor to talk to the boss. But when he finally gets up to the top, Kuze's there like, no, you can't talk to him. You got to talk to me. And then they're like, well, I'm going to kill you. I'll fight you to death. He kind of like did a sort of thing like in The Mandalorian where he's just like, I want to leave. I don't want to be Yakuza anymore. And he's like, no, you can't. He's like, well, I want to talk to the boss. Well, you can't talk to him. You just left the Yakuza. And he's like, ha, you released me.
Oh, hello.
So I can fight you guys now. I'm not a Yakuza anymore. So he fights his way to the top and then confronts Kuze. And this is the part where he takes off his shirt. And I'm like, his skin's way too smooth.
Oh, yeah.
On his chest. His face is old and wrinkly.
The tattoos look cool.
Oh, they look cool as hell.
Really good.
But his face is so wrinkly and then his body's so smooth. He's not even on HGH because he didn't have the barrel gut or anything like that. They have a crazy fight in there, and then finally the main Yakuza boss comes in with the two other lieutenants. Dojima. Yeah, Dojima. The two other lieutenants come in, and they kind of were like, they made like they were on his side before, but now they were like kind of playing him.
Now they know.
And one of the things Kuze was like, you have to cut off your finger, Yakuza style, you know? To make up for Kiryu, and he never did it. Yeah. So then when they come in to confront him, they're kind of like, be like, what are you doing, buddy? Yeah. You kind of screwed yourself over here. And they're like, here's the little table.
This is they put a little cutting board in front of him and a knife, and it's like, you're all about tradition.
Yeah. So he cuts off his finger.
That was brutal. I know. That was such a good scene. I was like, oh my God.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
This whole start definitely sets the tone, I think, for the. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
But it probably does set the tone for the rest of the game. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it does totally. So, we learn a lot more. Like he's got his friend, his brother, Nishi, who they're both adopted. They're both orphans, and then you see that the guy that brought them into the Yakuza, he was their like adopted dad pretty much, but he didn't want them to be in the Yakuza, but he let them get in, not under him, but under other sort of lieutenants. So they're not.
He kind of adopted them as street kids. Yeah. But he didn't want them to be in the Yakuza. And they're like, no, if you're in the Yakuza, we get to be in the Yakuza.
Yeah. And he beats the shit out of them. And then it's like, okay, I'll let you in the Yakuza. Yeah. But there is like, so much going on here in the first chapter. It's so story heavy, very little actual gameplay. I mean, there's fighting and everything like that, and I loved fighting my way up the tower, especially you'd kick down a door and that one lieutenant just never gave up, and you keep like doing like a quick time event to like knock him down and beat him up again, and then he would just and then I fucking murdered him. I kicked him out the window.
That was crazy. Yeah, because you go. Yeah, as soon as you get into the bathroom,
I think his name was.
Yeah, as soon as you get into the bathroom, that's where you actually get to beat him up and kick him out the window. Yeah, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it was so good.
It's such an anime story and anime action.
Yeah,
and then but it's like it's still like super serious.
Yeah,
like oh my God, this is great.
I know, I love it. I'm excited to play through the whole thing. I think the reason I never finished it before was like I think I was playing it during like COVID times and like all my kidney stone problems and everything. So I kind of just that whole like 2021, 2022 time for me was just kind of fucked up. So I'm
having an issue playing it.
Okay.
It's more of an annoyance issue.
Okay.
But there is screen tearing. And it doesn't matter what I do, what settings I have it on.
Really?
There's still like one line of screen tear that kind of happens whenever there's like any pen up or down or left or right.
Do you have VSync on?
Yeah, VSync is on.
That's
doesn't make
weird.
a difference. VSync off doesn't make a difference. And in fact, it's arguably worse with the VSync off, but
Yeah, I would think so.
But yeah, it's noticeable. There's just a slight little tear. and it's not, and it just sits there. It's just a slight tear, just a slight off.
It doesn't go away?
It goes away once the animation stops. So like if there's a pan in the animation, there'll be this slight tear, and then once that pan stops, if it like zooms in or zooms out, it's fine.
Can you change the refresh rate or the hertz on the game?
I could, but then I could drop it down to 30.
Well, you should match it to your TV, maybe. That's probably what the trouble is.
Probably only 30.
You should probably change it. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. TV's probably only 30.
So, I continued playing.
Yes.
Because there's no open world. You can go to shops and stuff like that, but there's no side missions that you can do in the first chapter. And I wanted to, when I was playing, I was streaming it, and I was like, I want to play side mission.
Yeah.
So I continued on into chapter 2, and you have to listen to like a little bit of story at the start.
Tachibana.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. We'll talk about that next time.
So, continue. We'll go back.
No, well, we can do what you're going to say.
Okay,
here.
so the old white guy who starts teaching you stuff, isn't his name Tachibana as well?
His name is not. His name was Bacchus.
Bacchus.
Yes.
Who's the boxer guy in the alley that you have to go visit at some point?
The boxer guy in the alley?
Yeah. Because he's the guy who teaches you how to do rush style.
Well, the old white guy's named Bacchus, and then he shows you the style of other people.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but he ends up being a guy you can go do side mission with by fighting. It's basically Fight Club. You can go with that guy.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, his name is Bacchus, because I remember I was like,
the other guy.
I was like, Bacchus, what is that? That's a Greek god or Roman god.
Yeah.
And it's like, I Googled it, and that's Dionysus, which is the god of like wine and
yeah, okay.
Like something like that
makes
right?
sense.
So
doesn't Bacchus mention Tachibana though?
What do you mean? Who's Tachibana?
Tachibana is the guy who you meet right at the end of the first chapter.
Oh, the guy with the glove?
Tetsu Tachibana.
Oh, I don't remember him mentioning it, but
I thought that he did, because when you're in the street, just on your knees, just like having a meltdown, he comes up, and I'm like, oh, Tachibana. Didn't somebody mention Tachibana
Someone
before?
did, but I don't know if it was Bacchus.
I think it was Bacchus.
Maybe. Yeah, someone did mention him, but I don't remember who.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. But what I was gonna say is, in this next chapter, you start doing open world stuff, and as I was doing, I'm not gonna tell you what the mission was, but when you do these things, there'll be like choices you can make in the mission. So, for example, the mission might be like, someone will say like, "Hey, I really need you to get me the energy," and you'll be like, "The what? Energy?" And it'll be like, you'll get 3 choices, and it'll be like, oh, he wants the plate, or he wants the energy drink, or he wants a chair. And you, based on what the mission is, you'll know like, oh, he wants the energy drink.
Yeah.
But the way they say it is a weird way, right? So you choose the right one, and they'll be like, okay, thank you, whatever. But the other answers are usually ridiculous. It's not like usually like the plate or the chair. It'll be like, oh, he wants me to like go capture some of the sun's energy and bring it to him, or like whatever. Yeah. So I was like playing it very straight. But as I was playing it, one of my stream friends, Heck, was like, choose the silly answer, right? And I was like, well, I want to complete the mission properly, And he's like, it doesn't matter what you choose. You still complete the mission. There's no like, if you do it wrong, it's not like you get less.
You don't get penalized?
You don't get penalized?
You still finish the mission?
So it's just like, choose whatever you'd like to do, really. Yeah. So just so as you're playing, know that is an option.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter, according to Heck anyways.
Yeah. Okay.
But I didn't... It didn't, like, I screwed up the one that I did. Like, I thought I chose the right one, but I did the wrong thing. And the way it was, too, was funny, because, like, the game kind of, like, tricks you into thinking, like, oh, you did it right, because the guy was like, oh, wow, you've done it. Like, I can't believe it. You're the first person that I've ever seen that has been able to fuck this up so incredibly. So.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty funny anyways.
That's some JRPG stuff right
Yeah,
there.
it's good. It's good. So I like and dislike how, well, I guess you haven't probably seen it yet, but like well, maybe it has been in some of the stuff we've done where half of it is voice acted and then half of it isn't.
Yeah.
So you'll be talking and then it'll go to be like, no, we're not talking
like,
anymore. And it's like, why did they decide to make this have no voice acting?
I don't weird.
know. Like they didn't save that much money by doing it.
No, because there's a metric ton of voice acting
So,
throughout the whole first chapter, and then it's just like some scenes it'll be like no voice acting and then no voice acting and then voice acting again. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
I really wanted to go into the erotic video shop, but I didn't have any erotic videos to watch. You can't find them until chapter 2.
Oh, it's too bad.
And I was like, oh, where are they? Because I ran all around trying to find them, and I'm like, I can't find any. So I haven't found any yet in chapter 2, but
there you go.
Soon I will. They're not that erotic. In fact, they're probably the opposite of erotic. They're just like the Japanese idol like bikini videos where she'll be like sitting on a bed and like smelling a flower or something like that.
That's mildly erotic.
I mean, it's more weird than anything, but I want to check it out anyway.
Upscaled now. You see all them pores.
No, it's real video.
Oh, it's real video.
They're real idols.
Okay, that's weird then.
So part of the thing
I don't know what makes that more weird.
Is you can go on dates with these women.
Yeah.
But they're generally all real idols.
Oh.
So they'll face capture them and everything. Yeah. But then in the game, it'll also have like an idol video, a real video. Like you go to, like this game takes place in the 80s. Yeah. So you go to the idol video shop. You'll go in your little stall. There'll be a bottle of moisturizer, lotion, and a box of Kleenex sitting there, and you'll put the VHS in and it'll play the little video that you can see of like the woman sitting on the bed in her bikini or whatever and smiling at the camera and everything, and then you leave, whatever. So yeah, that's one of the things in the game is the dating mini games where you'll date these real women. Well, they won't be, it'll have a fake name, but it'll be like the Yakuza, you know. So I'm excited to see that stuff. Not in a
sometime in the
way.
middle of that chapter, I tried to go into the Sega arcade because we went right past it.
Oh,
like,
my
God, I get to go to the Sega
arcade. It
arcade.
didn't let you go in.
And then it didn't let me go.
No, that's not till chapter 2.
Nope.
Oh, you went in later?
Before you go in to see Dojima,
uh-huh.
It's like, you sure you want to go into them? I'm like, no, I don't want to go in yet. I'm going to go run around. So I went, I did some bowling.
Oh, fun.
I went to the Sega arcade and I was like, get ready. And I was like, yeah, let's play some Space Harrier.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I did some claw machine.
Nice. Yeah, that's you can sell all that shit to the pawn shop. You get. I don't know if this one has the batting cage. Yeah, it does have the batting cages, so you can do some batting cages.
I have to go to the batting cages.
Yeah. The one thing with the Yakuza games is they basically all take place in the same area.
Yeah.
So you always come back to this area in all of them, basically. Yeah. So
I had a cup noodle, it was good.
Yeah, exactly. I went and had some ramen and stuff, get my health back and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the games evolve as you go too. Like in the more modern ones, you go to the like shop to do your, you go have your ramen to get your health back. But in the more recent ones, it'll be like you make your own meal and they give you buffs. So if you eat like the right food, the right meat with the right noodle and the right vegetable, it'll give you like a buff or whatever. So I'm excited to play some more anyways.
Yeah, looking forward to it. The storyline is so far is super good.
Yeah, exactly.
Super into it.
Yeah, exactly. Characters are interesting and everything. So
yeah.
I'm excited. And you haven't even met God, what's his name? The other guy that's on the cover with the eye patch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even met him yet.
Haven't even met him yet.
He's
there
crazy.
You go.
He's crazy.
I don't know now because I really want to find time to speedrun Corporate Stooge in The Outer Worlds.
Oh,
just to see what the ending is like if you Corporate Stooge it, right? But
if that's the only thing you want to do, just Google YouTube it, dude.
No, I want to play it.
Okay.
I want to experience
Well, take this. Can't you play the Yakuza? I mean, the Outer Worlds on the Steam Deck?
Nope.
Oh,
it's on the Game Pass.
Right.
Everything on Game Pass, I can't play.
Right. I forgot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still playing Star Wars Force Unleashed.
Oh, right.
What is it?
Yeah, the Fallen Order.
Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Still playing that on the deck. Didn't get a chance to play it this week just because Factorio.
Yeah.
No time. Only Factory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's okay though.
Yeah. Looking forward to playing the next chapter in this game. Yeah. And that's it.
Yes. play along. It's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. You can join. You can play along with us. Join the Discord. The link is down in the description down below.
Yep.
Each week you can post if you're not listening to this live, and we will interact with you live if you are here and playing this live with us. Or you can make a Discord post under the forum post that's there called Yakuza 0, and you can tell us all about your experiences, and we will read them live on the podcast.
Yes, we will,
because we want to know how you guys are experiencing the game, how you guys are feeling about it, and what you like and dislike about it so far.
Yes, please do.
I dislike there's no cloth simulation. But
gotta play the more modern ones.
Yeah, that's a PS3 game, so there you go.
Yeah,
PS3
I think it was PS3. I'm pretty sure.
I didn't think it was that old.
Well, I have the original Yakuza for the PS2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And man, the graphics, oh baby.
Yeah, go ahead, look down below, join the Discord, join the conversation.
Yes.
And you can also, post in the podcast topics and questions if you want to, for us to talk about
some
something
bullshit
that you like. Yeah.
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 Let's do it.
That's going to bring us to the end of this podcast.
Yes.
I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yes.
And if you're listening to this, not live, leave us a review, share us with a friend, let us know what you think about the podcast.
Yes, please.
Please let us know if you're listening. Please let us know if you're listening.
Wow, that was very needy.
Yes. That I tried to channel my inner Curb.
Hey, what the fuck? Do I sound like that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes.
No, fake news.
And anyway, we will see you guys again in 1 week's time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.